How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI. I made a video on SOFI not too long ago. Earnings came out and we end up having some earnings beat, and of course the stock did jump up quite a bit. I'm going to be giving you guys an update inside of this video, especially for any traders who are interested in getting into this play. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and as well as those key levels. The reason why this is important, because you want to make sure if you're going to jump into this play or even buy shares overall, you have a game plan. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership for November the 12th from the filings, and then we're going to be taking a look at the short interest information. We know that the short interest does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. Yes, earnings came out, but we want to know what is the buying and the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $22.76, being down 0.91%. On the low, it tested $22.17, and then on the high, testing $23.60. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 29.275 million shares, and then for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 34.237 million shares. So what you can see right away, yes, we were below the average in regards to volume, and we ended up seeing some pressure on the stock. It has been on quite the uptrend, so the selling does not surprise me. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 60.94. And then when we take a look at the moving averages here on our chart, we have strength above the 100-day, the 50-day, the 200-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So we could see easily a bullish sign here with the 50-day crossing over the 200-day. In other words, we call this the golden cross. And you can see as far as for the overall price action, we've been running up all the way back since September. So taking this into consideration, the fact that it's cooling off, I want to bring something to your attention. When earnings came out, we ended up having a strong gap up. And you guys know already, gaps are meant to be filled. They get filled in most of the time. So if we do end up filling this gap, or if we're looking to fill this gap, it would be around the $20.45 level. So right over here, because you could see for the next day on the 11th, how high we jumped up. And we have all this space that needs to be filled. So going forward now, we want to see us have a nice healthy pullback into this $20.40 range. Once we're able to do that, and if we continue that uptrend, things look really good. But there also is a possibility where we can continue to consolidate in this range between the $22 level and as well as around 23, and then we could look forward to seeing a 24 move or even going to 25 and seeing how much it could move from there. That is the most bullish case scenario. But realistically, if you're going to be trading this play, please know that there's a gap that needs to be filled. So you want to make sure you have the right risk management in place. But for the most part, SOFI is on a solid uptrend, and let's see what happens for the coming week. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we're going to see is for November the 12th, we see a good amount of activity here actually. So we have a closed position from Quadrant Capital Group. We also have Element Capital Management that went in with a new position, which was 133,800 shares. And we also have PSI Advisors LLC that purchased just under 9,000 shares. We have two more closed positions, one of them being a put. We also have Evoke Wealth that purchased 3,500 shares. And we can see here Bank of Montreal purchasing 300 168,133 shares, and of course having a put position. And then we could see here for Bank Julius Baer Co. purchased 18,201 shares. And we could see a continuation. There was a lot of activity actually for the 12th alone. Like this, look at that. But it does show there was a lot of filings in regards to institutions being bullish, especially over here with Vanguard going in with just over 47 million shares. Wow, that is very bullish right there. And keep in mind, these are just the filing dates. They didn't purchase it on the date of November the 12th. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information, you can see for the dark pool short volume ratio being at 41.04%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 6.1 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 20 minutes ago, and then for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.44%. As we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of November the 11th, it was at 40.88, and then for the close for Friday that just passed, it's at 41.04. So what this tells us right away, SOFI does have short squeeze potential, but also look forward to seeing more volatility inside of the stock. And this is why I'm saying you want to look out for those pullback opportunities when they present themselves. So if you're looking for a position, you're getting in with a good entry. So now let's move into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we can see here on the inflow, it was 141, and then on the outflow, it was 146. When we take a look at the breakdown, you can see on the large, we had 1.89. On the medium, we had 87.42, and then on the small, we had 51.22. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, we had 2.04, and on the medium we had 95.48, and then on the small we had 48.02. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for November the 12th it being an outflow of 0.15. And if we take a look at the prior 4 days, they were all inflow days, with a big time inflow day for large scale orders on the Thursday. Again, this is the effect from earnings at 15.92 million, and the day before at 11.4 million. So what this shows us right away, potentially institutions were loading up on a lot of shares on SOFI. Now, when we take a look at the breakdown, what we can clearly see for the small scale order side, there was a lot more buying than we had selling on the retail side, but there was a good amount of profit taking and selling and so forth. When we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying, but still a strong amount of demand in regards to buying, since we had 87.42 million shares. And then when you take into consideration the large scale orders, which we just covered, yes, institutions were closing out positions, maybe taking profits and so forth. And when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it is at 3.68%. This is not too bad whatsoever, considering, yes, there's many traders who are inside of SOFI due to the fact that, hey, this is a volatile play. But there's also many who are continuing to hold their shares, just like myself. When I was talking about SOFI and I was saying to load up, it was in the $14 range. I have not added more to my position as of yet. I rather add when it is below $20. Many people are going to say, well, it's never going to go back to $20. That is completely fine, because that just means I will not be adding. Now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, it was great to see that we were able to have an earnings beat. Like I talked about in my previous video, you want to see an improvement if you're a shareholder like myself, and that's exactly what we ended up reporting. When we take a look at the areas where we saw improvements, they were key areas in regards to revenue, also an increase in overall memberships, plus on top of that, they were able to deliver strong guidance. So that makes me still continue to be bullish on SOFI as a whole. Now, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, SOFI continues to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you're going to be seeing a lot of volatility inside of this stock, and why I say you want to be patient when it comes to your overall entries, especially since we do have a gap to fill on the chart. And this is why I want to make sure if you're going to be trading this, you're aware of it. And if you are an investor and you're looking for that pullback, it could definitely be beneficial for you. And then when we took a look at the recent institutional ownership, we saw Vanguard took a big position, over 47 million shares. So seeing this position makes things very interesting, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs for the coming week, and especially towards the end of the year and going into the new year, because like I said, I am very bullish on SOFI and I do believe in the long-term prospects. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.